the general manager of Kawartha Golf Country Club, Jamie Carter. Jamie, welcome to the show, and you're going to go mask on. You can take that off if you like. We're socially distanced and the wind is blowing away, so just to make sure we can hear you, Jamie.
Thank you very much.
But thanks, great to have you here, and definitely we'll start off with some of the questions to do with operations and finance. Can you just give us a rundown on the impact on your employees that you haven't been able to retain, and you know, if you're able to take advantage of any of the programs the various levels of government have
we've
put
been
together?
able to take care of the government funding, the CEWS program last year. Major part of our ancillary revenue comes from outside events, tournaments that bring in greens fees, weddings, etc. And they're all very big to our bottom line, and we depend on them highly. And of course, they were crushed. And through that, in the wage subsidy program, we were able to apply and be granted.
And qualify for some of that. And Jamie, pardon me, I got to the hard questions before. I got you to tell me a little bit, and the audience a little bit about yourself and how long you've been here in Peterborough. And like Mark's story, I assume you came here, and how it's been going. And
a little bit of small world theory. I was at Thornhill. Mark was at York Downs for a little while. We were working as assistant or associate pros, members of the PGA at the time, and then he came up here shortly thereafter. I think I went to Dalewood in Port Hope, Coburg area, and was there 20 years and was fortunate enough to be hired here 4 years ago, and I now call this home, and it's a great place.
Before I turn it over to Jim, what is the difference between the general manager and the pro? And in sub clubs, are they the same job? I mean, can you just quickly tell me the duties as someone that sort of knows golf, but just to help us understand how that works?
In the hierarchy, you'll see in some operations, you'll see a director of golf and operations, which oversees the entire place. In our hierarchy, I'm the general manager, Mark's the golf professional, we have a superintendent, and then administrative staff, and that's kind of the flow of how it works here. So.
But we actually, in reality, have two people that have served as pros, so you get the added advantage.
Yeah, we've seen. There was a individual worked up in Peterborough for years, Ian Webb, and he always told all of us golf pros, make sure you be a manager so you get the directions straight. He said, don't bother listening to anybody other than a golf pro. You're the golf pro, and you should be the manager. So, and I'm going to tell you something, that in our industry, that has been a major accomplishment by many golf professionals. They've gone on to be great managers. And Ian started it, and we just hope to follow just even a smidgen of what he did.
Well, that's great to know, and share some of that history, and you know, because people play it, don't really think about you know, how it works behind the scenes. And our audience, some may golf, some may not. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, Jamie, not so much Kawartha, but generally, Mark referred to We Are Golf. It's an alliance of the various bodies.
Yes.
And I know that you speak to them regularly. What's going on behind the scenes to try and get the provincial government to allow outdoor activity?
This has been going on for over a year now, and it started last year with We Are Golf, and they got golf back on. As you know, we opened in phase one of the reopening of the economy, and we were very fortunate to be able to do so. We Are Golf played in a big role in that. They met with the government bodies, the health bodies, and really, as Mark mentioned earlier, were able to give us the knowledge to make our facility safe. Coming up here, we have many signs on the driveway. You'll see advertising to people the correct things to do, the incorrect things, what we want them to do and what we don't want them to do. We have a player declaration. You know, We Are Golf is part of creating that declaration that we use as our guidance at the club. They're working strongly all week this week. Last week, they've met with the Minister of Sports and Tourism and I believe Heritage,
right.
Lisa McLeod. That was a meeting that took place on Monday. They're really just strong advocates for our game. We did 26 million rounds in Ontario last year, and I believe we have what's stated, they don't say zero, they say near zero cases. So that's a pretty incredible statistic as far as the safety of it goes. So they continue to move forward with that and show them, you know, they've even, when we look at things now, we have the health sciences on side saying that it's right that people are outside. And that comes from We Are Golf getting together with them to educate them about what we're doing. We do 250 rounds a day on a rainy day now. We're so busy. And
Yeah.
but mind you, that's over 156 acres and 12 hours.
Yeah.
And when we weigh that out against a big box store or something else, you could see 200 people around a big box store in an hour. So, it's a very safe environment, and We Are Golf has been telling them that. So,
the golf associations have lobbied the government. The government backed off at that first week on parks and open spaces.
Yeah.
They just don't seem to want to open up golf courses, and we're doing this show live on May 12th before the shutdown, which was supposed to end in about a week, and now
Yeah.
they're talking a week or two beyond that. Is there any hope you might see them allow the golf courses to open up at the original
yeah, I'm
shutdown?
interested to see if, I'm sure the long weekend worries them because, of course, there would be a run to the courses, a run to the cottages, a run to any outdoor area there is, and be crowding perhaps. But I would think, maybe the week after we have a very good chance. I would say a slight chance on the holiday weekend and a much better chance. But I do think it will be between the 20th and the 2nd of June. I can see a extended lockdown possibly with, just my feeling, an extended lockdown, but an opening of the outdoor recreational areas.
Yeah, I got an idea. I think anyone if they're worried about movement,
Yeah.
anyone within 3 kilometers of the golf course should be able to
Yeah.
should be able to play.
So those guys
I'm just
from
throwing it
Toronto
out there.
the guys from Toronto can't come up, right?
I was approached with a survey, just a quick one, about 2 weeks ago from We Are Golf, and the question was, what percentage of your members live within an hour of the club? And obviously that answers what we've been reading about the mobility issue. So I would say 98% of our members live within an hour of the club easily. I mean, to get membership value, there's a stat that 80% of your members live from 15 minutes away because the frequency they have to do for the value point.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting what Pete said about the kids playing golf, and we've had an incredible run on golf. The pandemic, what it's meant for golf has been incredible. And I think if We Are Golf had gone to the best marketing team 2 years ago and said, we're having problems with the game, our rounds are decreasing at every facility, what can you do? They would have said, have people work from home, cancel all sports fields, have kids do school at home, and no commuting time in the office. Okay? And you know what? You'll have tons of rounds. They would have said, impossible. It will cost trillions of dollars. We can't be approaching that. And we got it.
Yeah.
That's how fortunate we were.
Wow.
It's just been, I never saw this coming. Mark,
Yeah.
as long as we've been in the business, we never thought we'd probably get back to the 1997 numbers where courses were doing upwards of 40,000 rounds in the province each year. And miraculously, here we are. I mean,
It's pretty incredible. And, Mark, I want to ask you, and I'm not sure if it's you or Jamie that can best answer it. The greens aren't being used right now, and you've got extra time to get them ready. Does that mean, from a golfer's perspective, the courses should be in much better shape maybe than they usually are when you open up in April some years?
Oh, absolutely. This is a superintendent's dream, not to be having no golfers. If it was their choice, they'd probably maybe open sometime in June and close in August. But no, yeah, absolutely. The golf courses, as you can see, it's fantastic. We've done a lot of things without golfers there, like drill and fill and some aeration. So those things are done. So when they come back, they should have a clean slate for most of the golf season. So they're going to be excited when they get here, and most golf courses should be in that situation.
Are people lined up already, and can they put times in, or do they have to wait till you officially open up?
No, we opened our tee sheets we closed down, and I know last year when this pandemic happened and when we did get the okay, the tee time systems crashed, not just ours, but province wide. So we decided let's open it up and let people put their times in, their lottery requests, and we haven't had to do any lotteries, unfortunately, but that'll so once we do open, we can just get going and have members have their tee times. So I'm a little more optimistic than Jamie. I think we're going to open before the 20th, or around the 20th.
That's the spirit. And we just have a couple of minutes left. Jamie, I want to talk to you and maybe get Pete to add in. golf is like all sports now, except maybe basketball, is expensive equipment, and you're attracting younger golfers. I know this club and the Peterborough Club has some special programs and just. Can kids access golf if they aren't necessarily wealthy or come from a rich family? Is it easy for someone that wants to get into this? Are there some programs that help kids that might want to learn golf that might not have the resources?
Yeah. Our junior membership, the price position of it would be surprising, and I think if the parents don't golf, they don't understand the value point of it. For what we sell a junior membership for, when you consider that and you weigh it out against other sports where they're in an arena on a rental of time for the league that the league is getting. Kids can come here. I think you just heard from our president. He was dropped off in the morning while Dad went to work, and then he was picked up at night. The membership is probably the cheapest thing. The food bill for the French fries and the poutine and the pop, that's the highest bill that these kids face.
They have to eat one way or another. They might as well eat here.
We should give them the membership for what they eat here. But anyway,
what is the membership fee for a junior?
About $5.99, I believe, for the whole summer.
Entire summer.
That's pretty cheap.
So
daycare.
It's the cheapest. I mean, you can't go to a Y camp for 2 weeks for that.
Yeah.
So, Pete set up a thing. There's some used equipment. You can always get equipment, and yes, you can always want that expensive driver. As we all want an expensive car, perhaps. But you know what? You can play the game very reasonably.
Well,
that's for sure.
That's great to know, and great to know there are programs out there helping, and it is a great pastime. I know Rob told the story of coming in the Omimi van, getting dropped off. A great place to babysit kids because it takes a long time to get around the course, which is not a bad thing. I want to thank the team from Kawartha, Mark, Rob, and Jamie for joining us today, sharing some of your time, and we wish you all the best going forward. And we're going to have to do this again sometime when we can have some of those golfers showing off in the background. So thanks so much, and
Appreciate it.
we appreciate you having us here, and we appreciate our audience for joining us. And we'll be back right after these messages.